Hello everyone, welcome to the course Lasers, Fundamentals and Applications. In the previous lectures, we have studied the introduction to lasers, their various characteristics. We have also studied the three processes: absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. We have also studied the population inversion condition, the metastable state, absorption and gain coefficients, the Einstein's coefficients and their relations. In this lecture, we are going to study the threshold condition for lasers. The lasing threshold is the lowest excitation level at which output of the laser is dominated by stimulated emission rather than by spontaneous emission. Below the threshold, the output power of laser rises slowly with increasing excitation. Above the threshold, the laser is said to be lazy, and at the threshold, the stimulated emission is dominating the spontaneous emission. That means we can say at the threshold condition, the laser starts lazy. Let us first study the optical resonator. The laser oscillator or resonator is similar to electronic oscillator. An amplifier tuned to a specific frequency is provided with positive feedback. When the oscillator is switched on, any noise signal of the appropriate frequency appearing at the input will be amplified. The amplified output is fed back to the input and is amplified again, and so on. A stable output is quickly reached and the oscillator acts as a source of the particular frequency. So, just like an electronic oscillator, the laser resonator or laser oscillator has the same function. That means any noise signal provided at the input will be amplified by the amplifier, and that will be again part of that amplified signal at the output will be fed back to the input via feedback network. And in this process, the output power of the amplifier starts rising, and once the saturation value is reached, there the oscillator starts lasing. That means that oscillator is tuned to that particular value. So, this is the working of electronic oscillator. In case of lasers, the feedback is obtained by placing the active medium between the pair of mirrors which are facing each other. So, this is called as the cavity. So, inside the laser cavity, we have the active material. That active material we kept inside this cavity, and at the end we provide two mirrors. So, one of the mirror is partially reflecting and one of the mirror is completely reflecting mirror. So, this partially reflecting mirror acts as a window for the laser output to come. So, the role of the input signal is played by a chance of photon spontaneously emitted along the optical axis of the laser rod or tube. So, the spontaneously emitted one of the photon, that photon act as a noise signal in this case. So, that spontaneously emitted photon triggers many stimulated emissions in its wake, and the photons at the end are reflected back in the medium by the mirrors. That means this stimulated emission process starts by this spontaneously emitted one photon. So, that means that photon triggers many more atoms in the excited state to fall back to the ground state, and in that case the stimulated emissions start, right. So, in this we can say the substantial amplification occurs as the light beam is reflected several times at the mirrors, travel through the active medium, gaining strength in each passage. At the mirrors, at the output mirrors, the photons they are reflected several times. So, there will be several times reflection. That means in each passage the photons they are traveling, they again excite more atoms, right. So also by allowing the light beam to traverse the same active medium several times, the effective length of the medium is increased and the amplification of the light is augmented. So in the case of absorption coefficient and gain coefficient, what we have seen that the laser has very low gain, and to achieve large amplification what we need a very large length of cavity. So to have a very large length of cavity, it is not possible to produce a very long cavity. So that condition is satisfied by these two output mirrors. So in these two output mirrors, what we have the inside the cavity, the photons they are reflected back several times. So they will pass through the cavity several times, and in each pass they trigger more photons. That means an avalanche of photons will be produced in the cavity, and at a particular time the laser will start lasing. That means when the output reach to some value, the laser will start lasing and the process will be then automated, we can say. As the light bounces back and forth in the optical resonator, it undergoes amplification as well as it suffers various losses. The losses occur mainly due to the transmission at the output mirror and due to scattering and diffraction of light within the active medium. For the proper buildup of oscillations, it is essential that the amplification between two consecutive reflections of light from rear end mirror can balance the losses. We can determine the threshold gain by considering the change in intensity of a beam of light undergoing a round trip within the resonator. So let us consider the threshold condition. Let us assume that the laser medium fills the space between the mirror M1 and M2, which have reflectivities R1 and R2 respectively. Let the mirrors be separated by a distance L. Further, let the intensity of light beam be I0 at M1. Then, in traveling from mirror M1 to mirror M2, the beam intensity increases from I0 to IL, which is given by IL is equal to I0 into e raised to gamma minus alpha s into L, where this gamma is the gain coefficient and alpha is the absorption coefficient, we can say. So after reflection at M2, the beam intensity will be R2 into I0 e raised to gamma minus alpha s into L. That means R2 is the reflectivity of mirror M2. So due to this reflectivity, the beam intensity will be R2 times I0 e raised to gamma minus alpha s into L. And after a complete round trip, the final intensity will be. So after the complete round trip, the photon will travel a distance equal to twice L. That means the length of the cavity is L, so it will travel the distance twice L. So in that case, what we have, I twice L is equal to R1 into R2 into I0 e raised to gamma minus alpha s into twice L, where this R1 is the reflectivity of mirror M1 and R2 is the reflectivity of the mirror M2. I0 is the initial intensity and twice L is the distance traveled by this photon in its round trip. The amplification obtained during the round trip is G is equal to I twice L upon I0, which is equal to R1 R2 e raised to gamma minus alpha s into twice L. The product R1 R2 represents the losses at the mirrors, whereas alpha s includes all the distributed losses such as scattering, diffraction and absorption occurring in the medium. The losses are balanced by the gain. When G is greater than equal to 1 or I twice L is equal to I0, it leads to the condition that R1 R2 e raised to gamma minus alpha s into twice L greater than equal to 1. That means when the losses are balanced by the gain, that means the gain is overcoming the losses, and that means the stimulated emission, the overcoming the spontaneous emissions, and in that case what we have, G is greater than equal to 1. All the losses due to the scattering, diffraction and absorption occurring in the medium are overcome by the stimulated emission process, and that means it will convert into the gain of the laser. So, R1 R2 e raised to gamma minus alpha s into twice L will be greater than equal to 1, and therefore we can write e raised to gamma minus alpha s into twice L greater than equal to 1 upon R1 and R2. So, simply we are taking this R1 and R2 to the right hand side, taking both logarithms on both sides we get. So, when we take the logarithm on both sides, we get gamma minus alpha s into twice L greater than equal to minus ln R1 R2. So, the logarithm of 1 upon R1 R2 is minus ln R1 R2. So, gamma minus alpha s greater than equal to minus 1 upon twice L ln of R1 R2. So, gamma greater than equal to alpha s minus 1 upon twice L ln of R1 R2. So, this minus sign we can convert into plus sign. So, we can write gamma greater than equal to alpha s plus 1 upon twice L ln of 1 upon R1 R2. So, ln of minus ln of R1 R2. So, we are converting into plus ln of 1 upon R1 R2. The above equation is known as condition for lasing. It shows that the initial gain must exceed the sum of the losses in the cavity. This condition is used to determine the threshold value of pumping energy necessary for lasing action. The amplification of the laser gamma will be dependent on how hard the medium is pumped. As the pump power is slowly increased, a value of gamma threshold called as threshold value will be reached and the laser starts oscillating. The threshold value gamma threshold is given by gamma threshold is equal to alpha s plus 1 upon twice L ln of 1 upon R1 R2. So, if you see the previous equation, in the previous equation what we have is gamma greater than equal to alpha s plus 1 upon twice L ln of 1 upon R1 R2. So, this greater than equal to sign. So, at the threshold value what we have is equal sign. So, equal sign we are considering here. So, gamma threshold is equal to alpha s plus 1 upon twice L ln of 1 upon R1 R2. Therefore, for the laser to oscillate, this gamma must be greater than equal to gamma threshold, right. So, above the threshold value or above the threshold gain, the laser will oscillate, right. So, that means the gain of the laser must be greater than this threshold gain or threshold value. So, this equation is known as the threshold condition for lasing, and it states that the criteria when the net gain would be able to counteract the effect of losses in the cavity. The value of gamma must be at least gamma threshold for laser oscillations to start. So, that means at the gamma is equal to gamma threshold, the laser will start oscillating and the gain must be greater than this threshold value to laser to operate. If gamma is greater than threshold value, the waves grow and the amplification reaches saturation. So, that means this amplification will reach saturation and then we can say that laser will start oscillating. It lowers the value of gamma in turn and eventually an equilibrium value is attained at gamma threshold. So, at gamma threshold we will get the equilibrium value of the gain. So, in summary, what we learned today is the optical resonator or optical cavity, how it works, and we also learned the threshold condition for lasers. In the next lecture, we are going to study the problems based on this module 1. Thank you.